Knowing what to do with an old industrial building is a huge challenge, but one I really value exploring. Buildings like this old UK water tower consumed a huge amount of energy and resources to build, but the idea of capping the building's lifespan based on it only having a single purpose feels so wasteful in both resources and opportunity. There are so many facets to this conversation, but what I want to do here is to explore how a building like this could become a unique home. So that's what I'm going to show you. If you're new to the channel, my name's Gemma, I'm an architect, and this is my space for exploring how unloved and awkward buildings could be adapted as beautiful and inspiring homes. And I teach my design process for remodeling spaces on my course, Design Like an Architect, where you can tackle your own design project with the support of both myself and a community of like-minded, aspiring designers. So this building is an octagon and is about 4 stories tall, will have dominated the skyline ever since it was built. It is concrete and quite brutalist in appearance, and inside has these incredible tall windows that make it feel like an art gallery. The floor levels are confined to a stack of rectangular strips, which look perhaps structural to me, and which are accessed via a series of ladders. Otherwise, the space is open from the ground up to this amazing ceiling, which has a circular central opening, which I imagine was once the access point to the tank. I think these 2 vertical columns are actually the inlet and outlet pipes, so I really don't know. But I love them and I want to keep them, so as ever I'll be trying to work within and around these existing features as much as possible to retain them. Starting any design is always tricky unless you have a process to follow. So for such an extreme vertical building like this, my first instinct was to establish the heights of the floor levels so I could gauge how many levels I wanted to work with, which could then help me work on how to travel between them. With such a dominant shape to the building and with these existing platform levels imposing head height restrictions, finding a language for the staircase felt like it would be a significant key to the design. One of the imposing features of this building is the regular repeated series of platforms, which, while utilitarian for getting up and down to the tank, feel way too rigid if this is going to become an inspiring, welcoming space. There's clearly going to be a huge climb to get from bottom to top. And while of course we could put a lift on the outside, there's always still going to need to be a staircase as well. So what I don't want is for the stair to be tucked over to one side and just to bend round these octagonal angles and effectively just replace the ladders. That feels way too submissive in this dominating building. So I need to find a language which can work practically but also with visual coherence to really push back against the tower's imposing form. So the language I hit upon was this one: folded steel with rigid sides, using straight flights and only changing direction on the landings. The effect felt monolithic enough to counterbalance the angles of the octagon, and a combination of needing to fit the straight flights and landings across the space while also working with the existing head heights of the platforms started to give me some movement in the shapes of the floor plans and to inform the whole journey up the building from bottom to top. So I'll show you how all that comes together. The tower sits in a well-sized plot, which gives the opportunity to expand outwards a bit and ground the space in its context. You can see already that I've taken a very specific approach to designing the extension elements, and I've done that to both work with the interior layout and provide the space needed to live comfortably, and to break up the shape of the tower visually. I played around with the form of the ground floor element and initially introduced some angles into it to funnel light down into the internal space. But it was only once I got the form of the sort of pop-out boxes at the higher level that it clicked that I needed to stick to a clear quadrilateral language to offset the geometry of the octagon. I can't pretend to understand exactly why that feels right to me, but to my eye, the contrast in angles just seem to balance each other out. There's a bit of storage in this entrance area here as you go in through these 2 doors to an open octagonal hallway. You can see the view as you first arrive is framed by those old water pipes, and the stair wraps around them to one side as a freestanding sculptural element. This conceals an area to hang coats, and then a WC is tucked under here at the end. Now this hallway is a main circulation crossing point, and to try and fit more into it would have become cramped. So extending off to one side, there's an open kitchen and dining room that gives you plenty of space to cook and to socialise and to connect with the garden. As you go upstairs, you start to see the language of this staircase forming around and above you. And as you get to the top, you can see the balustrade continues out through this window, which could be made openable to access a small viewing platform where you can look down on the entrance door or out to the view in the other direction. Back inside, there's a living room on this mezzanine level. And you can also head out through these glazed openings onto a terrace that wraps around almost half of the building. Up the next flight, you have an intermediate story on a new level. This has a shared bathroom in it with a shower and a toilet and one of those lovely tall windows. And past this, you head across a walkway and up to the next floor, where you arrive at a landing. Off to one side, you enter into a bedroom with some recessed storage and those water pipes, which are a continuing feature throughout. Now there's one more floor to go, so while we catch our breath here for a minute, I want to just highlight this video's partner, Brilliant, and tell you about the serious transformative learning that you can achieve with it. If your interest is in programming, for example, their highly visual and interactive computer science and programming courses can give you a strong foundation on, say, structuring logic or algorithmic thinking. They even give vibe coders with little to no experience the knowledge to build confidently, and the potential of that really fascinates me. That said, I also really appreciate that these courses are crafted by human experts from an award-winning team of professionals at MIT, Harvard, Stanford, and more. So to become a better thinker and problem solver and learn for free on Brilliant, go to brilliant.org/Gemma, scan the QR code on screen, or click on the link in the description. Brilliant's also given our viewers 20% off an annual premium subscription, which gives you unlimited daily access to everything on Brilliant. So now through the next door, you head up a private staircase to a master bedroom on the top floor. And this is where you get to enjoy the curved ceiling and the circular opening that could become a glazed oculus. I stopped short of putting a ladder up to the tank here. It felt like I'd gone quite high enough, but maybe the roof could be removed and you could actually get a terrace up here. There's an ensuite in here. And out through another of these glazed openings is another small terrace to really take in those views and the height. This building was sent to me by a viewer like you who was curious about what it could become. So please do the same and send me any unusual spaces you come across or even own through my website page for video ideas. They could be houses, apartments, warehouses, ruins, anything really. And if you'd like to learn how I redesign the layout of a building while experimenting with your own project, you can do so through my course, Design Like an Architect, and you can sign up to find more about that through my website. Check out my other videos if you enjoyed this one, and I will see you next time.